Let's explain the difference between a forwarding PAC and an app PAC in more detail. A forwarding profile PAC gets defined within the forwarding profile and it steers traffic towards or away from the client connector. It's essentially the system PAC file, which HTTP proxy is going to be used for a specific URL. If it's the PAC file for tunnel with local proxy, it's going to point traffic at the loopback address or another explicit proxy. It has no bearing on where the client connector will route traffic, only where the user's applications will send traffic. So a user's application could be the Internet Explorer browser, Edge browser, Chrome browser, Firefox. They would receive the forwarding profile PAC that makes the decision how that browser will treat the HTTP traffic and what proxy server it will send it to. And that proxy server could be Zscaler, or that proxy server could be the local proxy that's enabled in the Zscaler client connector. The application profile PAC steers traffic towards or away from the Zscaler cloud. So after traffic has been intercepted by the tunnel mode, or after traffic has been directed to it with the local proxy, the application profile PAC then processes the traffic and makes a decision which Zscaler node is going to process the request afterwards. And so that profile PAC is used to determine the geographically closest Zscaler enforcement node to process it. So within the Zscaler Internet Access Administration portal, we can define the PAC files that are hosted on the cloud. Go to Administration Interface, Administration, Hosted PAC files. You can see a list of default PAC files and PAC files that you have written yourself. So you host a PAC file for both the forwarding and the application profile PAC files. PAC files are essentially JavaScript functions that take two inputs that are dynamically provided to it by the browser, or in the case of the app profile PAC, through the inspection process. So it takes the input of a URL and a host, and it returns back an answer of send the traffic direct or send it to a proxy. And so the forwarding PAC is processed by the web browser or the system proxy, and the application profile PAC is for the Zscaler client connector to make its traffic routing decisions. So if you're migrating from an on-premise proxy to the Zscaler Internet Access Platform, existing PAC files may be migrated to Zscaler. So you'd migrate to Zscaler using tunnel with local proxy, and you might bring in that browser configuration. It remains the same. The PAC file simply returns the Zscaler client connector as a proxy, and the Zscaler client connector tunnels that traffic to the Zero Trust Exchange. And because it's an authenticated tunnel, the Zscaler Zero Trust Exchange understands who the user is. So as a migration step, it's a very simple process to take your existing PAC file and move it into the Zscaler client connector. However, the recommendation is to use the zTunnel 2.0 forwarding mechanism, and you need to make consideration to how you move from an existing explicit proxy configuration to moving to Zscaler tunnel mode. So as you move from PAC mode to a tunnel mode, or explicit proxy mode to a tunnel mode, there are implications on the way your browser will behave. The browser will automatically understand how it authenticates to intranet sites. So it'll do Kerberos, NTLM, integrated Windows authentication to websites which are automatically defined as being in the intranet zone. And the intranet zone is defined as sites which bypass the proxy. And so a site which has a direct statement in the PAC file is automatically identified as being an intranet site. And therefore, if it challenges for authentication, the user will automatically authenticate, or the browser will automatically authenticate, and the user will be signed in. So if you remove the PAC file configuration and move to tunnel mode, the definition within the browser of what is an intranet site is lost, and so the user may be prompted to authenticate to intranet sites. And it is often seen as a side effect of migrating from PAC file to tunnel mode. So with tunnel mode, there is no PAC file in the browser, and so you need to specifically define the intranet sites in the browser to ensure there's a congruent authentication behavior. What I mean by that is that the user continues to be able to single sign on to intranet applications because they are defined as intranet sites. So in Internet Explorer, you need to come into Advanced and add those sites as intranet sites. So you're taking that decision away from the browser saying they're sites that bypass the proxy, and you're explicitly defining them within the intranet zone and saying these sites are my intranet sites that I should then automatically authenticate to. Within Google, Chromium, Edge browsers, whatever, you would add sites to the auth server allow list. With Firefox, you'd add things to the auth trusted URIs configuration option. All of these can be pushed out through group policy objects and identified from your existing PAC file, migrated into the browser configuration, and pushed out before the migration to Zscaler occurs.